As the parks reopen after coronavirus, there's a lot of changes that we're familiar with, but there are 4 that are more than likely coming that you may not know about. As we're in the midst of all the coronavirus stuff, and we've gone through the closures and parks are starting to reopen, there's a lot of changes that most of us are familiar with. We're familiar with the social distancing, with the hand sanitizer, with the limited capacity, with most of the parks requiring us to wear masks, ride reservation systems, with park reservation systems. We've heard about all of these things and we're getting prepared, and yeah, there's some people that aren't happy about them, but hey, if you want to go to the parks, you do what you gotta do. And if you don't want to do it, well, you don't go. It's okay, the parks will be there in the future. But there are 4 changes very likely coming to the Disney parks that you may not know about, that may very well catch you by surprise. So here's 4 things you should probably be aware of if you're going to go to Walt Disney World or Disneyland during this time. Number 1, no buffets. They haven't said this officially yet, but I would fully expect this to be the case because of the worry of cross-contamination of a person handling utensils who may be infected, and then the next person coming up and handling the same utensils, and the worry about cross-contamination and people breathing on the food and serving the food and then maybe putting it on their plate and then putting it back and all that kind of stuff that happens at buffets, which honestly, if you think about buffets to begin with, health-wise, they're kind of scary on the surface. But because of all of that, and with coronavirus and the worries about keeping safe, don't expect to see buffets back in the parks. Or if they are, they're going to be very different. I know several parks have announced they're not going to have them. Silver Dollar City has said there's no buffets like they used to have. And some of the other parks have said, nope, no more self-service buffets. Several have just said no buffets at all. No all-you-can-eat options. What you may see some parks doing, and if Disney brings them back, you'll see something like this, is either as you go through the buffet line, there will be servers there to scoop and serve the food for you, which is a possibility. It's going to slow those lines down, but you can go through each station and have somebody add the food to your plate that way. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually have to pass the plate behind the scenes and you pick your plate up at the end, so that way you're not handing a plate back and forth and defeating the purpose. Or what you may see is what they already do at Ohana and at Akershus in a limited fashion and some of the other places where they actually bring the buffet to you, where they take the all-you-can-eat dishes and they bring it and they set it on your table, and then as you want more, you can add to it. So if there's going to be an all-you-can-eat option, I would almost expect more of the table service. Don't expect to be able to go up to the buffet and just be able to serve yourself as you used to. Number 2, character meals. Disney has already announced that there are not going to be characters available for meet and greets. They're going to be waving from a distance, and you may see them as they drive down the street, or you may see them waving from the castle stage or possibly from the train station. But you're not going to be able to get up close to the characters. No autographs, no pictures. This is true of the character meals as well. People are used to meeting the characters at the meals, and that's not going to be able to happen because you've got the same health codes that are going to kick in, and the worries and the fears. And, you know, if somebody walks up to Winnie the Pooh and hugs him and sneezes into Winnie the Pooh's belly, and then that next person comes up and hugs him too, and ew, Disney doesn't want that. Not at all. They don't want to take that chance. So, character meals, at least for the time being, are going to be a thing of the past. You might see somebody stand up in the center of the restaurant and wave, but that's going to be as close as you can get. This is part of the reason why Disney has canceled all the meal reservations, because everything that people were expecting of them is gone. They've limited the capacity, they've shrunk the number of people that can go in, there's no characters, there's no buffets more than likely. Is it any wonder they had to cancel all of them? Can you imagine if you had paid $70 a person for a character buffet, only to find out that either you couldn't get in, or there were no characters, and there was no buffet? That wouldn't go well. Thus the reset, and why some people are upset, but hey, better to find out now and rebook everything than find out when you get there. Number 3, cast members are no longer going to use your phone or your camera to take pictures. One of the things that Disney has prided itself on is that if you wanted to get in the picture, you could hand your phone or your camera to a cast member, and they would be happy to use your camera and take your picture for you. Not just Disney, this is true at Silver Dollar City and many of the other parks as well. That's not going to happen anymore. Disney has already kind of stated this under the books that they're not going to do it, again, because of cross-contamination. Because if I pull out my camera and I hand it to a cast member, whatever is on my hands and whatever I put on my phone, and you got people that lick and then do their phone, and that would now be passed on to the cast member, who would then pass it on to anybody that they helped afterwards. Not gonna happen. So no more having Disney cast members use your phone, no more having them use your cameras, no more being able to hand your phone off and get into the picture. It means if you want to be in the picture and have somebody else take it for you, you've got a couple options. You've got PhotoPass photographers using their system taking PhotoPass, and you'll have to buy the pictures, or you're going to have to find a stranger to use your camera, and then you've got the whole deal of wondering, okay, where have they been? Have they been contaminated? Have they been infected? It's definitely going to have an impact on how people take their pictures. Related to that, there's probably going to be changes with even how PhotoPass scans your card on your picture. Don't be surprised if there are no PhotoPass cards. Honestly, because of the passing back and forth, I don't expect them to have it. They're probably going to make you scan your phone because the apps have a phone scan bar on them. Or if you have a Magic Band at Walt Disney World, you can do that because they can scan those things without actually touching you or touching something that you both touch. Don't expect to see PhotoPass cards around anymore. And number 4, pin trading. Yeah, pin trading is about to go through a big change here. Don't expect to see any more lanyards. Don't expect to see any more of the little hip belts that have pins on them. Because to trade with those, the cast member's having to pull the pin off, come in contact, hand the pin to you, take the pin you give them, contact, put it on. Lots of hand contact there, lots of potential for contamination. That's going to get shut down. No more lanyards and no more pin belts, nothing like that you're actually going to be able to hand something to the cast member and you're both going to touch. They very likely will still do pin boards though. Don't be surprised if not only if they still have the old pin boards, but they actually increase them. Because this is a possibility that they can still do pin trading and do it safely. Because with the pin boards, the cast member can just hold the board. And they can tell you, okay, take the pin you want, put your pin in. And then they can actually take sanitizer or wipes or whatever, and they can just immediately wipe it off. They don't have to touch it. They can actually decontaminate it without ever touching it. And then the next person comes up will be safe because they've decontaminated it. They can wipe the whole board off in between guests, and it will be completely fine that way. So the pin boards suddenly become a safe, contamination-free, risk-free way to trade pins, while at the same time they can avoid and eliminate the ones that are risky. So don't be terribly surprised to see pin trading change in that way. There will be other changes as well in the parks also. Some that we don't know about yet, some that Disney is probably still working on and refining, and some that we'll probably look at and go, well, oh, duh. Can't say I'm surprised by that. So what else do you think is going to change? What are you ready for? What are you not ready for? What can you deal with and what can you not deal with? Is it a good time to go because the crowds will be limited? Or is it a bad time to go because the masks and so many limited things? I'd love to hear your feedback. Please share it below. Thank you so much for liking the video, for sharing the video, for subscribing. I appreciate it so much. I also want to give a huge shout out to my patrons and my members for their financial support. They've been able to make so much possible, including some of those video clips you got to see here. Their support has allowed me to make those trips and have made things like that possible. If you want to know more about Patreon and YouTube, be sure to check the links below because there are perks that come with it. I also want to give a huge shout out to my brand new patron, Vince Wesolowski. And then I also want to give a deep apology to a few patrons that got caught in a technical glitch that removed them from my credits when they should be there. So a huge thank you, and a thank you for letting me know to Randy Carter, to Randy and Heather Carter, Judy Ryan Polzinski, Rich Walker, Rachel Rosal, and Frank Seiler. And so sorry that you weren't in the credits for a little bit. I've got that fixed for you. Thank you so very much for watching, and God bless. Kind of related to the same thing with the buffets. Don't expect to see any more of the little yeah. If you'd like to know about my merchandise, fan pages, and more, be sure to check the description below. If you'd like to know whenever I've got a new video posted, well, make sure you hit that button right up there and subscribe. If you'd like to watch another one of my videos, I've got a great one for you right here. And if you'd like to be like these wonderful people here and support me financially on Patreon, well, make sure you check the link right there. There's even some extra perks for them. Thank you so much, and God bless.